Shalom, family. I'm here. I'm here because the news is now the U.S. is headed over there to show military support. So now, when the U.S. is getting involved in this whole fight, now it's time to speak because, many of us have family that's in the military. So I'm going to go over that. Yeah, I did see China and Russia. China and Russia are not there. The only thing China and Russia did was call for a ceasefire and peace talks, but they are not physically there. The US is there, and we'll get into what military division is there because I have that information. But that's all Russia and China is saying. They're calling for ceasefire. It doesn't not say anything about them showing up. So let's get into it. So what you're looking at is the USS Gerald R. Ford. And my subscribers that were in the Navy, you absolutely know what this naval carrier is. Many of you are more up to par about these things than, most civilians. So this is one of the naval carriers that's there, but it's not the only one that was sent to Israel. So let's get into it, y'all. So before I get started, can everybody see my screen? Do you see my screen? Ascension Watson, thank you so much for the super sticker. Can everybody see my screen? Please give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Thank you very much, y'all. Thank you very much. All right, let's get started. All right. So the Department of Defense did a news conference today. So the Pentagon announced that they will be sending ships, aircraft closer to the coast of Israel to show Israel, of course, support in a show of force. So Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin announced Sunday in a major show of force. This is a day after Hamas launched attacks on the southern part of Israel. Austin directed the air carrier USS Gerald R. Ford, which you're looking at, and the USS Normandy, and several destroyers are moving to the eastern Mediterranean, according to the press release Sunday. So here's additional things that are going over there from the U.S. Air Force: F-35s, F-15, F-16, and an A-10 fighter air carrier squadron. They are headed over to the region, according to Lloyd Austin. The moves are in response to the Hamas attacks on Israel. Now, I was looking at some of the articles, and they said this caught Israel completely off guard. They did not see this attack coming. And from what I understand, hundreds of people are dead. People have been kidnapped. I have seen all of that. So it followed detailed discussions with Joe Biden. And I saw that Joe Biden called over to Netanyahu to offer his support. Now, they're also giving Israel Defense Forces additional equipment and resources, very similar to what they're giving to Ukraine. It's amazing how America can jump up with money, equipment, military force, a military presence, and can do this within hours. But if you say the word reparations, they don't have nothing. But it seems like they got everything for war. If there's a war going on, they got nothing but bottomless pit money for these wars. So the first of those arms will begin moving Sunday and arriving in the coming days, according to Austin. Biden told Netanyahu during a Sunday morning call that additional assistance for Israel Defense Forces is now on the way to Israel, with more expected in the following coming days. This is what came out of the White House. So the president, deep sympathy for those missing, wounded, and killed. And he pledged full support for the government and the people of Israel. So there you have it. Now, I know some people were saying that, what are they going to fight with? Well, apparently they got a lot to fight with. There have been hundreds of bombs going into Israel where they have been bombarded with bombs. They got them from the air, they got them from the sea, and they got them on land. So you can tell this was carefully planned out and executed by Hamas. So they didn't go in there with no rocks and sticks. They went in there with full artillery and military equipment. Now they're accusing Iran as being one of the biggest suppliers of Hamas. Now, whether this is true or not, I don't know, but this is what they are currently saying. They believe Iran is also involved in this whole thing. Oh, yeah. They did a land invasion, LaDonna, an air invasion, and one by sea. Yes, Christopher, you are absolutely right. They've been planning this for years. I believe that. I don't believe this was something they planned in just a few weeks. I think this was a years and years in the works. And they were quietly getting all this military equipment and artillery and everything over to them over the past several years, more than likely. And then they caught them off guard. They said they had no idea. They didn't see this coming at all. So, am I happy? No. I have a cousin that's in the Navy, and I don't know if she's over there or not, but I do have one cousin that is active duty in the Navy. And I also have one relative that's in the Air Force. So we'll see if the US starts sending people over there more and more, then we will know it's far more serious than what we're getting right now. Yes. Yeah, well, I don't know about that. Christopher, listen, you heard about that major earthquake they had over in Afghanistan. I think they said more than 2,000 people are dead. The same time they were having this attack, they had a major earthquake over in Afghanistan. And I know the last time I looked at the news, they're estimating that 2,000 people are dead. And they're expecting the death toll to go up over in Afghanistan. Yeah. Yeah, it's turning up. I know they were fighting today because they sure going to keep this up in our faces. You can best believe that for the next several days, you're not going to hear it. This is going to be the news that we hear coming out in this country. It's going to be big. But right now, no. As far because I did see somebody posted something about China and Russia. China and Russia are not so far not getting involved. All they said was they want a ceasefire and they want both sides to do a peace talk. And that's as far as Russia and China has gone. I don't know about Russia being pulled into this because Russia is still heavily involved in Ukraine. So, I mean, they could, we'll see. We'll see if anybody else steps in other than the US. You know, you would think these people would have allies around them, but if they do, they must be invisible. Because I haven't, other than the US, I haven't heard any other nation stepping up and going in there to help Israel. And if any of you have heard anything, let me know in the comment section because I haven't. The Only Lioness, thank you so much for the super chat. I mean, with the US going over there, it may not be anyone else stepping up for them other than the US. Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. I mean, all time will tell. Oh, trust me, y'all, they're here. They're here. They're just like the rest of these Gentiles around here. They watch your every move, listening to your every word. They do the same thing. They're not any different. They do the same thing. And you can best believe they're on my live stream. I know they're there. I know they are. So that's all I wanted to inform you. Y'all, look, if you got anybody in your family that's impacted by this, let me know. Drop it in the comment section, or what was your experience on the USS Gerald R. Ford if you were on that naval carrier, or even the other one that they're sending over there, the Normandy, USS Normandy, because I do have quite a few military people as subscribers. I can tell you, I don't think it would be easy for me to be in the Navy because y'all be out at sea and sometimes it is months and you don't see any land. That would just drive me crazy. I couldn't be out there like that. You got a nephew in the Navy. Okay. Yeah, I have one cousin, but I don't believe she's on this carrier. I did hear about where she was, and I don't think it was this particular carrier at all, or the USS Normandy. I don't think she's on either one. Yeah, you're right about that, Davita, Braxton. Yeah, any of the branches are challenging, but I'm just saying, I think I would not. Second Exodus, your father is in the Navy. Okay. Daughter of Zion on the Gerald Ford. Okay, there you go. We got people that are familiar with this carrier. My cousin retired from the Navy and my uncle, a dark-skinned brother. Okay. Yeah, I mean, despite the fact that we get treated like garbage, our people have heavily participated in all branches of the military. We have. And that's why it's offensive when they question our patriotism. If anything, you got patriotism from us that you didn't even deserve, the way I see it. Okay, Lion's Den says my late uncle was a Navy man. There you go. Miss Abiel says that one nephew was in the Navy, one in the Army, and husband in the Air Force. There you go. Wow. Hate by many, love by few said I was in the Navy, did 8 and got out just to make sure I can't be drafted. There you go. Yeah, that's why I'm saying, that's why I wanted to do this live stream because I know either my subscribers or you got family that's in the military, you know? And like I said, it's hard when you got people that have disdain for us, but then when something gets jumped off, our people are very much going to be participating in this too, especially if they are enlisted in any of these military services. You know, we never get any appreciation for what we do, but we're always there. Yeah, I'm glad y'all writing this because it lets me know how deep it is. I saw the Kitty Hawk. Yeah, isn't that down in South Carolina? Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, the USS Kitty Hawk aircraft carrier. All right, Afro Sheen 42 was in the Navy. The Big Steel. I'm a Navy Gulf War vet. There you go. Nook Nook, my nephew, National Guard. Yeah. You know what, y'all? When it comes down to the Palestinians, and I'm going to say this, and I know some of you will understand what I'm saying. It's kind of a bittersweet thing, you know. As long as they're over there, yes, I do believe they go through oppression and everything. But here's the problem I have with Palestinians. When Palestinians come over here and they open up shop in US, because many of them will come into the black community and open up shop, and all of a sudden when they cross the ocean and come over here, they get nasty and they start showing the same disdain that all of these other folks show towards us. That is the problem I have with the Palestinians. But see, as long as they're over there warring back and forth with Israel, that's one thing. But when they cross the ocean and come over here, they turn nasty and racist and everything else. That's the problem I have with them. When they come over here on American soil, all of a sudden they think they're better than somebody. Okay. J Zero said you were a contractor and you worked on a Navy vessel in 2019. Okay, there you go. It's a lot of our people involved with the Navy. And look, I got an Air Force person here. Yeah, a lot of our people are involved with the military. Your dad, Linda Scott said, my dad, a former Army vet. Yeah. Okay. Carlette said she was in the US Air Force. There you go. A lot of military people, but y'all, we'll see what happens with this now that the US is seems like they're getting involved. Mickey Brooks, former Air Force. Okay. So you're an Air Force vet. Ollie McGee, ex-Marine. Irving Cobb, dad was Air Force. Mom, Department of Defense. Okay, yeah. I mean, military a lot of y'all come out of military families. Yeah, I mean, I had a couple of friends that were had military families, both mother and father in the military, or sometimes just one parent. I've seen that. My dad, Joseph Washington, my dad was a Vietnam vet. Willie B. Israel, an ex-Marine. Brenda Hill, two uncles that were in the Army, one in the Marine. Carla Lockhart and has my uncles were in the army. Second Exodus Air Force. Yeah, I mean, y'all, so this look like it may actually get deep. Qamar Muhammad, Vietnam vet, Marines. Judah's Lion, I'm a Gulf War veteran. Yeah, I mean, we're always involved, and we've been involved with every war this country has been in, and we still get treated the worst. Uh, mm, that's the whole disparaging part of the whole thing. Route trackers. You said your father was a Vietnam vet, Marines, and father-in-law was in the Navy, the Korean War. Carmen Butler, uncle and my son, ex-Marines. Joe, Lex, I think you are a Gulf War. This thing is going, yeah, Gulf War veteran. There you go. Carla Lockhart, my father-in-law was in the army during the Korean War. There you go. Sankofa 130, Navy vet, Desert Storm. Yeah, I've always had a lot of, military, you know? That's why every now and then I will do those stories on the military, just having people in my family, and I know many of you were involved in the military as well. So, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and conclude. Thank you so much for being here. I just wanted to update you. Now, we'll see how deep America will get involved in this whole thing in the coming days. We shall see. It will definitely be interesting. So, shalom to you and all of you trolls that are in the background listening, because I know you're there. You're always there. Shalom to you too.